Welcome to Bath Ki Baat session 38. Bangalore has become infamous for its frothing lakes. Its river is a sewage canal today. This is because 70% of our city's wastewater goes untreated and ends up in lakes and water bodies, largely due to lack of treatment facility, as most of these treatments are unsustainable. Today's guest speaker is here to show that sewage treatment need not be complex, expensive, or time consuming. Please welcome Ms. Dakshayani S. Dalwai. She's an alumnus of IIM Kozhikode. After a career in Hindustan Lever, that is Unilever today, where she worked as business head with water division, handled research and development for water products. She went on to start an environmental and water treatment business. As a social entrepreneur focused on research and development, her area of focus has been water and wastewater treatment and scientific water body (RRR) process, which is repair, rejuvenation, and restoration. Welcome, Dakshayani. On to you.
Madam Dakshayani, are you there?
Your audio seems
Yes,
to
I'm
be
there, sir.
Yeah.
Please unmute.
Yeah. Good morning to everybody. This is Dakshayani S. Dalwai from Pratik's Enviro Solutions, based in Chennai. And I'm basically from Mysore, Karnataka, and studied in Mysore and Bangalore, and settled for last 22 years in Chennai. And we operate in both Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. As she mentioned, we worked extensively on the environmental issues and green effective solutions for all kinds of environmental problems, especially focused into water bodies. And also restoration of the water bodies is our first priority. And when we work on the water bodies, obviously our first focus is on the source level, where the issue starts. And when we are able to resolve the issues at a source level, obviously, all kinds of problems will be resolved at one shot. That is what we talk about on the sustainable solutions. Before starting the session, I would like to play our company profile video. Kindly watch the video. Yes, the video is audible.
No.
No sound.
No sound.
No sound. Volume. Now is it audible, sir?
No.
Yeah, it's audible now.
Sanjay, you need to. Yeah, it's audible now. Yeah. Play. You can put in your feedback in the chat so that I'll be able to understand the problems in case if there is any. Not audible. Video is not audible. Okay.
It's okay. Go ahead with the video and then you can start.
Okay. Okay. Video not audible. I think the other system is not enabled.
No, it's enabled. We'll try on YouTube.
Okay. Right, video will take it up later. No problem. I'll just go ahead with the presentation. Maybe at the end we'll be able to play it once again. PowerPoint.
Little louder, Dakshayani. Little louder. Thanks.
Yeah. Volume.
No volume. You say no.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
And you're the presenter, so you can share your screen.
Okay. Yes, I'm just sharing the screen now for the PowerPoint.
We can see. Please go ahead.
So this PowerPoint is visible now?
It is
Okay.
visible.
Right.
We can see.
Okay. Good morning once again. And today we are all here to talk in detail about on the water management required for the medium and large scale apartments. And when we visited Bangalore a couple of times on the waterfront, we came to know there are a lot of, the regulations are introduced, and the compliance issue was another challenge which is faced by lots of apartment. So that is where we wanted to, address the apartments in the case of water management. And today we are going to talk in detail on how the water can be managed in these apartments, compliance with the government standard. I think Sunday it is getting stuck, the presentation.
Okay.
I think there is some, because we presented the other platform, there was not much of.
No, earlier when we tried, it was working. No?
Yeah, and now.
Do you want to try?
So I just wanted, now let me just continue.
Sure.
I just wanted to just, make this session more interactive. And before even getting into the technical discussion, I just wanted to know, to understand, what people they know about water and how much water they normally require to survive. And just to, have an interactive session only, I'm asking this question. I just want to know from the audience side, to make a cup of coffee, how much water is required. Any idea? You can put it in the chat box. Any idea how much water is required to make a cup of coffee? 100 ml. Okay. 300 ml. 1 liter, 100 ml. Right. And any guesswork on 1 kg of rice required? How much water is required to produce 1 kg of rice? 5 liter, 2 liters, right. And 1 kg of sugar, because all these products, we every day consume it. 1 kg of sugar, how much water is required to produce? 500 liters, 5 liters, right. And a single pair of jeans, because jeans, all of us, it's part of our life now. A single pair of jeans, how much water it requires? 5 liters, 200 liters, 100, 10, okay. Pair of shoes, how much water requires? You are nowhere near. 50, 20, right. And finally, how many days human beings can survive without water? Let's see the answers. A cup of coffee required 140 liters of water to produce the ingredients to make a coffee. And a kg of rice requires 2,500 to 3,400 liters. Imagine the kind of water what we are using to produce the rice. And sugar requires 1,500 to 2,000 liters. And one single pair of jeans, 10,000 liter. And the shoes is about 8,000 liters. And human beings can survive maximum 7 days without water. Without food, roughly about 25 days. This is the kind of water on day-to-day life what we are consuming. But it is all a hidden water which we can't even see on day to day, and we don't even think about it. When we have a cup of coffee, we never knew that, the 140 liters is required to produce that just 1 tablespoon of coffee powder. So that is a kind of water we are spending. In that case, if there is no water, we can't have our coffee, we can't have rice, sugar, whatever, in day-to-day life. That is a kind of role water plays. The water is definitely a lifeline. And it is a natural resource, and it forms the basis of all life. And it makes up 70% of our human body and present in bodies of all plants and animals. And types of water in apartments, normally when it comes to, it is normally call it as a domestic purpose. We will have 2 types of water. One is a fresh water. Generally, you will have a source from groundwater, a borewell or the well, or the municipal supply, or the surface water. And the another water which is being produced by the apartment is a wastewater. The source is again the domestic usage, sewage wastewater from the apartments. And types of water treatment. When it comes to fresh water, you use RO for drinking purpose, and softener wherever hardness is high, and iron remover wherever you have higher iron. And then you will have for 2 purposes. One is for drinking purpose, and another one is for bathing and washing purpose. And sewage is common wherever people are there, or animals are there, of course, because everybody needs water. And whatever the waste is produced, along with it you will also have a water. So that is called a wastewater. And generally these sewage treatment plants, the treatment is done and used for gardening or for toilet flushing. And a couple of apartments, they must be using it for treated water recharge into the ground. And there are certain regulations on that. Maybe at the end of the session we can discuss in detail on recharging of the groundwater by the treated sewage. And we are going to talk, because when we talk about on this RO or iron remover or softener, it is a common technologies that everybody knows about it. And we are also capable of taking up this kind of water treatment projects in a large scale I'm talking about. And we can take even the operation and management also if required. And when we talk about the sewage water problems and effective green solutions, today the main agenda is to know what are the challenges or the bottlenecks are there in managing the sewage. And we strongly believe manage your wastewater yourself in an effective and very, very simple way. So that is where we make the technologies more sustainable. And our bio sewage treatment solution is actually won the national award for this year 2020, and we received the award at Delhi from the minister. And water everywhere it is there, because we are all talking about water. In fact, the water is only just 1% what we have for our consumption, which is comprises of river, lakes, and groundwater. And 2% is polar ice, and 97% of the water is ocean. And you are all aware, treating the ocean water is not a joke, because the TDS level will be about 25,000 to 30,000 ppm will be there. If that is the case, obviously treatment of saline water is a very tough task. And also it is a very costly affair, management and also the initial investment, both. And that is where we are talking about on whatever there is left over for us 1%, that 1% has to be taken care. And how do we ensure this 1% of the water is saved, which is there for us? And one is in the form of rainwater, whatever we get, we need to do a recharging of the rainwater or saving the rainwater in the ground and reuse it as and when required. And also we are talking about on recycle wastewater, save 70% of our fresh water. When you talk about on wastewater, there are 2 types of wastewater again when it comes to domestic, the grey water and also the toilet water. In case if the STP is not installed wherever, and they will have a bifurcation of these 2 water. The toilet water is from the toilet flushing, that is called a black water, which is highly contaminated, and the grey water is less contaminated and definitely easily treatable and reusable when it comes to recycling of water for a toilet flushing or for any other purpose. So this 70% of the water, this gray water which I'm talking about, if you are able to put back into the process again or reuse again, you will save that 70% of the groundwater or the municipal water which you are using it directly, to save it. So in fact, you require only about 30% of the water for kitchen, for bathing, or maybe for drinking purpose only, to take the fresh water from the groundwater or maybe from the municipal supply. The recycling water saves you almost 70% of the total water usage in the apartment. So you can see the treated water here in the picture from the sewage, and which I explained you now, the domestic wastewater and the categories of the wastewater. And industrial wastewater is there, which is another category which we are not going to touch upon today because it's completely a different ball game altogether. And waste management challenges, what we are facing in our country as a whole, not just an apartment alone. Lack of sewer system in urban and rural areas is the main challenge. And now to tackle this only, the government has taken an initiative to put the responsibility on the shoulders of the citizens or the larger apartments, where they can have their own treatment facilities and sewer system is not required for them at all. But this is, in case if it is for new apartments or the new upcoming layouts or the areas, it is much easier. But when it comes to existing system, to upgrade into this system is a challenge, because one is the investment, that's the capital, and another one is again the operation front. That is where we help the people to restore these the applications. And the huge investment when it comes to underground drainage system is required. I'm talking about as a whole, as a country. And definitely India's population is growing at a very faster pace, and for that pace definitely we can't do a underground drainage system for everybody whoever wants today. So that is where by the time we develop the project and execute it, it will take another 3 to 5 years, and then you will have population grown up another 30% more or 20% more, like that. So we are unable to catch up that pace. So that is outgrown by population. That is the main reason why we are unable to cover the entire drainage system in our country. And lack of sewage treatment plants is also there. And all of us are aware, whether in Karnataka or in Tamil Nadu or anywhere in India, of course, sewage treatment plants are very less, or even if there are sewage treatment plants, it is not functional. The reason is the loading factor. Say when they design it, as I told you before, when you design the sewage treatment plant in the government, they design thinking that next 2 years or 3 years down the line, the population calculation they do approximately, and then they do the installation. But by the time they execute it and commission the project, it will be about 5 to 7 years. By then the again population increases, the growth automatically, when it increases, you will have more of wastewater flowing into the system, which is uncontrollable. And lot of illegal connections also sometimes it burden the STPs or overload the STPs. That is where the government STPs, most of the time it is very difficult to manage also. And lack of cost effective technology is another challenge the government is facing. And one is on the capital front. Number two is this kind of overloading, they are unable to tackle it. And more than anything else, when it comes to investment for the sewage alone, definitely not much of funding is there. That is where now slowly the government is initiating the decentralized system, where the citizens are part of the movement. So they will be taking care of their own responsibilities on managing their own waste. And I think those already there in the in the process. That is where a lot of apartments are going through tough time now. And the solutions what we give when it comes to very smaller or medium apartments, we can talk about on bifurcation of septic tank waters and the grey water system. And separately we can treat. And then the toilet water, some people they will have a mindset issue. They don't want to reuse the toilet wastewater, even though the water looks very clear, orderless, they feel that no, we don't want to use it. That is where we talk about on bioseptic tank system, where the entire water is treated and recharged into the ground itself. That means you don't have to call up a lorry tanker to pump out the water. And when we are talking about the grey water recycling system, and we implement the method where the entire system works by a gravity based, and the treated water collected in the final tank, and just a final tertiary treatment we do for odor removal, and then you can 100% use that water for your toilet flushing, car wash, floor wash, for all the purposes. And when it comes to sentiments of the people, grey water is nothing but a kitchen and washing machine water or something like that, so they don't have that kind of the sentiments also, negativity on the treatment. So it is very easy to execute it, because people also they accept it very easily. And when we talk about on the entire solutions, it is just a one-time green solutions we are providing. This kind of smaller system is applicable for about independent villas or 5 apartments, 10, 15, 20, like that. So this is a very small applications where up to 5,000 to 7,000 liter we can handle it, and 30% less investment as compared to the normal conventional septic tanks, and it prevents completely the Lari pump out. This is where is our focus. The entire technology is developed keeping this in mind, because we don't want any wastewater pumping out from anybody's properties or the premises. And ultimately, most of you must be aware that nearby water bodies are the destination. People, they just download everything there. That is where the problem, lots of water bodies are polluted. And once we are able to tackle this at a source level itself, able to install this kind of system, obviously nobody calls up a lorry tanker for pumping out the water. And it also saves a huge space, because everything is installed below the ground, and after that you can put a concrete flooring and you can use that place for your car parking or maybe for any other purposes. And when it comes to maintenance, it's almost a zero maintenance, because it's all based on the gravity-based system, and only the bio tablets, which is enzymes and bacteria, only you need to dose it. And that is for smaller apartments, maybe about quarterly dosage will be there. It is not even daily, it is not even monthly basis. And no electricity is required to treat the water. And obviously our main motto is to save our environment and save groundwater, our water bodies, and the soil system is achieved by implementing this kind of projects. This is the conventional septic tank water before treatment. You can see this, the quality of water and the floating objects there. And right inside you can see this treated water in the bottle. And this is the ready-made system which we developed. The reason is, when we talk about on any technologies, everybody talks about the timeline. They say that, within how many days it can be done. That is where lots of people, they go back, because it is a busy schedule. Most of the time they are busy with their own work, and they don't have much of time to spend, or the invest time for this kind of activity. That is where we developed an application which is just a fit and forget kind of a model within a day. Maximum morning we start by 6:37, and by evening 7 o'clock we hand over the project to the clients. And this can be done for existing septic tank system to upgrade into bioseptic tank. And also we can install new bioseptic tank systems where there are new projects coming up, or new buildings or apartments or whatever. I'm talking about only for a smaller scale apartments. And the next level, when we are talking about on sewage treatment plant, where we are talking about minimum of about 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh liter, 2 lakhs liter, kind of a 100, 200, 300 KLDs kind of a plant, where you have an apartment of size of more than 50 and up to 1,000, 1,500 apartments. So in that case, we cannot handle it with that kind of a smaller application. That is where we have developed this bio sewage treatment plant, which is an anaerobic wastewater treatment system by using a biological process. So the microorganism degrade the organic contaminants in the absence of oxygen and treats the water, and this process is energy efficient system. It treats the water by gravity. That is where the biggest advantage of saving the cost on electricity. And when we talk about on aerobic wastewater treatment, the microorganism convert organics into carbon dioxide and new biomass in the presence of oxygen. Aerobic microorganisms require oxygen, so air must be continuously circulated through the tanks. You must be knowing about the aeration tanks. That is what I'm referring here. And forced air from an air blower or the compressor is mixed with the wastewater, where the aerobic bacteria feed on the waste in the water and treats the water biologically. And the difference, the aerobic and anaerobic is, the first one, bio wastewater treatment, which we have developed the application, is without aeration system we do. And current system in the market, we have a number of technologies like activated sludge process, ASP we call it as, moving biobed reactors, MBBR, or membrane reactors, and electrocoagulation, electroflocculation. There are so many technologies are there. And but all these technologies 100% need aeration system, that is the blower. And also you need operators round the clock to run the plant. Otherwise, your STP will not function. I think most of you must be experiencing it already. And this is the difference between the conventional sewage treatment plants and the bio sewage treatment plant. See, when we talk about on bio STP at the left-hand side, it is an anaerobic STP, 100% biological. We don't use any chemicals at all. When we talk about on conventional STP, it is a aerobic based, and also we use chemicals, urea and DAP, to stimulate the microorganisms in the water. So that is being dosed in the aeration tank so that microorganism, it increases. And electricity is required in the conventional system. In bio STP, 95% of the system does not require electricity and treats the water by gravity itself. And the conventional STP requires operators, 3 shifts required per day. And in our system, we don't require operators at all. And when we talk about on the treated water quality, it is 100% meets the pollution control board norms. And even the latest norms, whatever the government has given, we exceed even that limit as well. And the biggest advantage when it comes to bio sewage treatment plant is, the 90% of the treated water you can recharge into the soil. I have seen a lot of apartments where they depend on the lorry tanker even for a treated water, because they don't know how to recharge it, or there is a regulation from the government also where you are not supposed to recharge the water into the ground. So we will talk in detail at the end of the session on that. And treated water, when it comes to conventional STP, also meets the pollution control board norms, but you are not supposed to recharge into the ground. But in bio STP, 100% you can recharge. The main reason for this is the nitrate. Why the government is not allowing the normal STP water into recharging into the soil is the nitrate content in the treated water. See, when we talk about a normal STP is using the air blower, you will not be able to achieve the normal process below 10 ppm of nitrate. There is only then you can recharge into the ground. If you want to do that, then additionally you have to go for additional extension of the air blowers, or you have to go in for a phytoremediation process. Phytoremediation is nothing but using the plants treating the water. So what does plant do? The plants uptakes all the nitrate and the phosphorus in the wastewater and then treats the water further to the soil. What about the sludge? Somebody has asked. I'll take your questions at the end of the presentation. The sludge is almost zero. There won't be any sludge accumulation at all. That is another biggest advantage in bio STP, because when we talk about an anaerobic system, whatever the wastewater flowing from this system is completely organic waste. When we talk about toilet water, what is there in toilet water? It's only the organics. Human waste is organic waste, 100% degradable. When we talk about kitchen wastewater, what is there? Again, it is organic waste, 100% degradable. And bathing or saliva or sweat or whatever, all these are 100% biodegradable. All that is required is we need to have a proper system in place, because whatever we are talking STPs today, only last a few years back only, all of us, we are talking about on air blowers, STPs and all these technologies, all this stuff. Imagine 50, 100 years back, what was the technology was there? 100 years back, nobody was using the STP. That means people were not alive and there was no pollution. So when we go back to our ancestors' process, then we will have an answer for all our environmental problems, right? And so it is bio STP is just a one-time investment, and conventional STP is periodic maintenance will be there when it comes to electrical items, because normally for all the pumps or aerators or all these will have 1 year warranty only. After a year, you need to replace or you need to repair and revamp it as and when required. And since these pumps and all, it runs almost 20 to 24 hours. So, very well, after a year, it will not have that kind of a life unless you have a very big brand to use it. And this is the BioSTP installation. This left hand side, you can see the first peak is actually the Shantiniketan College, which we have done there in Bengaluru. And the area, I forgot the name of the area. And in that area, we have installed 100 KL plant. It is about 4,000 students are there. And 4,000 students, they use this treated water in the toilet flushes, toilet flushing, sorry. And this has been installed almost nearly 2 years back and functioning very well. And you can see the construction. We gave a design and they did the construction of these tanks. Below the ground, we installed the entire system. And above that, you can see the roof there, and they put up a toilets there. And from there, all this, gets into the first tank, gets treated, and the final tank, they have a treated water, again, going back to the toilets again. You can see the entire recycling happening in the same space itself. In case if you really want to visit the site, we can definitely take a permission from them, and then we can, definitely give an opportunity for you to go and visit the site as well. And you can see the second peak, which is about 10 KL, 20 KL, smaller STPs, which we do it in a day's time. Because we are the manufacturers of RCC precast tanks and the entire digester system and all this. And this kind of system can be done for 5 KL, 10 KL, 15 KL projects and all within a day. Morning, I said, we can start by 6:30, and by 7 o'clock, we'll complete the work, and we connect the pipes also. They can start using it from the day one. That is the kind of system we are talking about. And you can see at the right hand side, the treated water, the sample has been taken in the bottle, right? So this is the Central Pollution Control Board to bring about new norms of sewage treatment plants. And you can see this pH 6.5 to 9 and BOD 10, COD below 50, TSS 20, nitrate 5, nitrogen 10, and fecal coliform below 100. All these things, it has been achieved in Shantiniketan. This is the test report. This test report we did when? It is 16/4/2019. Last year, April, we did. So at that time itself, even today, they are using it. And only because of COVID-19, the schools are locked now for about last 4-5 months. Until then, they were using this water. Even now also, they do, as and when they go to school, only few staffs are working, and they always, they send us the details to us. And you can see this test report here. Mainly, we are talking about on BOD, biological oxygen demand. The guideline was 10. We are talking about last year itself, we achieved this target, and 8.4, which we achieved it in our BioSTP. And COD is 50, and we achieved it 48. And nitrogen below 10, the guideline, and 8.9 we achieved. Ammonical nitrogen 2.3. If this is the standard, if you achieve 100%, your water is suitable for recharging into the soil. No one can ask the question. 100% it is rechargeable. The only threat what we have when we are giving this system to apartments, or maybe even for industries or any residential buildings, the problem is, the moment people they come out of the problem, and once they are comfortable, they forget to maintain the plant. That is where the threat is. In case if you don't maintain it, the raw sewage start getting into the groundwater. That is why the governments are more keen and very clearly saying that, no connection of, no point in, recharging into the ground. Only reason everybody knows. You'll never be able to see anything. That is where we are more concerned on the maintenance part. But when we talk about on biosewage treatment and when we are talking about a biosewage treatment plant, the entire system works by gravity. That is where I am confident of giving that. The reason is there is no human intervention at all when it comes to maintenance of the STPs. So we are only talking about works everything on its own. So in that case, all that is required is, the monthly once, just about 1 hour you need to spend just to dose the microorganisms which is there in the tablet form to dose it in the system. Am I audible, sir? Presentation is audible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's audible.
Okay.
Yeah, audible. No problem.
Yeah. And this is the success story in Chennai Metro Rail. This is also, it's more than 2 years now. Successfully it is running, and we actually first time they gave us an opportunity in the Metro Rail, because when we talk about on Metro Rail, the process is very stringent. It's not so easy to do this kind of a project there, because it has to go up to the director level. That is where one director, Mr. Narsim Prasad, he attended a webinar or similar like this presentation 2.5 years back in an association program. That is where he just gave his card and he said, you please come and meet me next day in the office. When I went there, he said that we are executing this project, I'm giving an opportunity, I'm really thrilled to see this, and I'm confident that you will be able to prove it. And he gave me an opportunity. The result is this. Even today, you can walk into the Metro Rail CMBT junction in Chennai and take out this water sample yourself. We don't even require anybody to show you the water sample. Directly you go there, you can see our board there, adjacent to the board where we am standing there, the final treated water tank. You can take out the water sample yourself and give it to the lab. And it will meet the PCB norms, 200% we are confident. That is how the system is developed. And this is the the publications in almost all the newspapers. It covered about the success stories of BioSTP in the first year when we inaugurated, and the second year and when it was a successful, because we launched it on the World Environment Day. So we executed this project. So that is definitely a landmark achievement when it comes to our organization. And just a case study to say that on calculations on BioSTP and the STP when it comes to capital investment and as well as the operations. So if you take roughly about 100 KL plant, one second, sir. Charge. Battery is low. Battery is low.
Your battery.
100 KL plant. Yeah. Battery, I'm just connecting it, sir. 1 second. Right. So 100 KL plant, roughly the maintenance cost currently, whatever you are having it, including EB bill, I'm talking about 90,000 to 1 lakh rupees a month. Labor, chemicals, EB bill, and wear and tear also we need to consider. Actually, I've put a very lesser figure there. Wear and tear for aeration unit or maybe for other pumps and all, it will be much costlier, but still roughly I'm saying 1 lakh rupees a month. And roughly per year about 12 lakh rupees is the cost on maintenance. That is on the operation cost on the 100 KL STP. When we talk about BioSTP, the monthly, including the bio dosage and the EB bill I'm talking about. EB we are talking about mainly on the ozonator. We use the ozone to remove the odor in the water. That is the only application we use ozone. And the entire treatment or sludge settlement and degrading the sludge and filtration process, everything is done by gravity only. And we use this ozone. That is why I said the EB bill is also, it will not be more than 2,000-3,000 rupees a month maximum. All these, when you visit our Shantiniketan school, you can, because the same capacity we installed, and you can also ask them about EB bill and maintenance and all this stuff. So per year, including everything, is about 2,40,000 rupees. You see where is 12 lakh rupees expenses on your current STP and where is BioSTP of 2,40,000. So 80% cost savings on the existing STPs itself we can do if we upgrade the existing STP into BioSTP.
Madam, I'm sorry to interrupt here, but aren't ozonators very expensive to buy?
Definitely no, sir. Definitely no, sir. When we talk about an ozonator, we are not using ozonator for the treatment process. When we are
you're using it for in the final
tertiary.
Tank, in the tertiary, you're using an ozonator. Okay.
Yeah.
And I beg to differ, madam. I believe that ozonators are expensive.
I'm sorry to interrupt here. We'll just run through this. At the end of the session, definitely we are going to discuss in detail on that, sir.
I think that is better. Yeah.
Sure, madam. I'm sorry to have interrupted you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Definitely we will discuss, sir. We are here to definitely discuss in detail about this. Play this BioSTP, the video. Sandhya, can you please switch over the system to play the video?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay. So is it audible, Sandhya?
Not to
Audible?
me. What about others?
No.
No, no.
Not audible.
Not audible, not audible.
Not
Not
audible.
audible.
1 second. I've given the full volume. Just play from here.
You can't play. You can't play.
Still not audible?
Wait.
Still not audible. Still not audible.
Not at all, ma. Better
Yes,
be.
sir.
You can send the link instead.
I think yes, that also can be done.
Better send us a link, ma. That will be sufficient.
Right. We'll try finally once. If not, then we can send the link. Connection accept.
No.
Not audible, sir?
No,
No.
not audible.
Oh,
Not.
at all.
Yeah, you can just post a link on the chat window
Yeah,
there.
post the link in the chat. 1 second, 1 second. Chat window, they will play. Put the link into the chat. Copy link. You can play, Sandhya, the link, we are sending it now.
Sure. No, I can't play it from here. You want me
Oh,
to?
you can't, is it?
Yeah. No, that's okay. People can check it out later. Will it show how the system works? Is this a technical video?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a testimonial video. Okay, something that system, not possible. Okay, let me just get back to the presentation again. And now, next level, when we talk about on apartments, the first thing I said, the smaller apartments, the bioseptic tanks, and also the grey water recycling system. And when we talk about on larger apartments, we spoke about on biosewage treatment plant.
Presentation not start.
Yeah.
You can.
Share that. Yeah, now is it okay? Am I audible now, Sandhya?
Yes. And we can see your presentation as well.
Oh. Okay. So now we are going to talk in detail about on polluted water bodies restoration undertaken by us. And normally all of you are aware, when you look at these water bodies in the vicinity, you will have two problems. One is sewage water or the industrial wastewater letting into the water bodies. And number two is solid waste dumped into the water bodies. Both are done by us only. And only thing is we need to just prevent it, number one, or at least wherever it is already been done, that has to be immediately restored. The reason is because, when you have an apartment of, let's say, about 1,000 houses, you are depending on two types of water for your source, which I already told you in the beginning of the presentation. One is on the groundwater and another one is on the municipal supply water. The municipal supply water is nothing but a surface water. So like Kaveri, Godavari, whatever the rivers are there, only from that river, you will be able to get the supply from municipal and you will pay for that. And another source is groundwater. Actually, if the water bodies in the vicinity is polluted, ultimately all your groundwater get polluted. And when you put a borewell, you will get a sewage only rather than getting the fresh water. And a lot of apartments we have seen even in Chennai itself. Or if you look at even in Bengaluru, wherever you have a polluted water bodies near to about 1 to 1.5 kilometer radius, all the borewells are completely choked up with sewage and they can't even take out the water from ground. It's only because of the pollution which has been occurred in the lakes. That is where we are more concerned on these water bodies to be restored. because ultimately it is not just, it is somebody's job, to take care of the water bodies. It is our water body. We are responsible, and it doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to us only. All that is required is, we should not let out our wastewater to the water bodies, or we should not even pump out the wastewater from our premises, and anybody is coming and taking the water by lorry, and it is not my business. Rather than thinking in that way, because ultimately that guy, he will not responsible for you. He will say, you are paying money, I'm taking it out. Wherever I dump, you don't ask me questions. That is how people, they talk. If that is the case, we feel as individuals, if each one of us take responsibility and then put these systems in our own houses, which is definitely lesser cost than whatever systems you are currently using. In terms of cost saving will be there, in terms of environment you will be contributing in a big level. And that is where we talk about on restoration of this polluted water bodies, because once it is already been done, we can't be cribbing about it. So we need to find a solution wherever the pollution has happened. And our request is, if these apartments is able to help us out, extending their support. We are not expecting anything, any donations or anything. We are only expecting each one of you at least, to not to let out or pump out through lorry tankers from your premises, and take care of your own treatment and recharge that quality water back into ground to increase your groundwater level. And that is the purpose, and we started this initiative, and many water bodies we have restored. And when we talk about on even the temple ponds, you know very well, all our ancestors, all these temples, you used to have a lot of water bodies there. The temple pond is only to provide recharging of the bore wells or the lake or whatever the water bodies are there near to that vicinity, to that, to save that water only they were doing it. But today what happened, in these temple pond itself, we are creating the pollution. See how it happens in temple body when we are talking about on pollution is, number one, when we use this flowers for decorations for these idols, and also when we use abhishekam water, mainly we use milk, butter, ghee and all kinds of thing. It is actually everybody says milk is good, that's fine, butter is also good, but when you mix both and put it in a water, then you see the difference, right? And if you leave it for a day, the next day morning it will stink. Reason is the bacterial activity starts taking place, and then you will have all kinds of issues there. And this kind of water is normally, most of the temples, what they think is, the abhishekam milk is very good, and we should not let out that water to the sewage, and directly they connect it to the water bodies. That is where the temple ponds, they have the issues of the green color water, in the lakes, in the pond. The green color happens is only because the algae is growing by taking the more nutrients in this water, in this wastewater. And also the flowers, and they do some ceremony thing and all, where they put this food items and flowers and all these leaves and everything into the water body. That is where again the organic load in the water body is increasing. And since it is a stagnated water, where does it go? It gets accumulated in the bottom of the pond, and obviously the recharging will not happen. And once it is getting accumulated, if the degradation process is not happening, and obviously you will have water stinking, that you will have an odor. And once the nutrient level is higher, nutrient, we are talking of the pollution, is higher, then obviously you can see that there is a layer, the green color layer in the water in the lake, or sorry, in the pond. And this kind of challenges can be resolved in just 3 to 4 days maximum. See, what we do is, when it happens, when the algae, the green algae is outgrown, you can see these fishlets in these temple ponds. You must have read a lot of newses, where temples are suffering, or they are going through this kind of issues where the fishes are dying in the temple ponds, and even in lakes also, of course. The only reason for this is the organic load. It is coming from, one is in the temple level, I told you, the inlets of this water, and also dumping of this solid waste. And the other thing is, we are talking about on lakes, where directly the sewage line itself is connected to the lakes. You can see in the future slides. And what we do is, when we get this kind of calls, we directly first go to the site, and then we do a testing of the water. by using the sensor. This is called a dissolved oxygen level meter, where we use we measure the dissolved oxygen in the water. Normally, when we talk about on water bodies, the dissolved oxygen level should be minimum of 7 to 8 ppm. If it is below that, below 1 or 1.5 or 2, like that, normally in the night time you will have dissolved oxygen level less, because there won't be sun in the night time. But during the daytime you will have higher dissolved oxygen level. So what we do, we take a sampling in the different timings: early in the morning, afternoons, late in the evening, and the night. So basis on that only the entire computation is done on the treatment process. And here we do the testing, and then basis on the DO level we do the designing, and maximum within 2 to 3 days we are able to control the fish death. And you can see the water quality here. The laboratory test reports, we can submit the quality of water. We are not saying just the visibility alone. We are saying take the water sample before treatment and after treatment, see the result in the lab, and then you yourself will know scientifically it has been proved. This is the same pond which I shown you previously. You see the water quality and the fish death here, and you see this pond, Temple Pond. This is at Thiruvarkadu. It is near to my house only. I'm put up in Thiruvarkadu in Chennai, and the same temple we have restored this. And what we do, when we do a restoration of these water bodies, I mean the temple ponds mainly, Nirali Mantapam normally we call it as, or the center Mantapam, in this temple pond. We install this system, or the fountains we call it as, and one is aesthetically it looks good, so everybody loves to see that. And number two, scientifically, our focus is mainly on science, not on the aesthetics alone. And we increases the dissolved oxygen by mixing the water. So we design in such a manner the entire lake water gets mixed up in 2 hours or 3 hours a day. Mainly we advise them to do it in the evening hours, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, so that whatever the DO is increased in the evening hours, during the night time, that DO can be maintained, so that early morning, the moment sun is up, your DO automatically keeps increasing. So this is the testing on DO level on day-to-day basis. What is the dosage we did and what is that? You can see when we started in Thiruvarkadu, it was 0.25 ppm was there. Imagine where is 7 to 8 ppm and where is 0.25. That was the situation. It was the worst scenario when we visited the site. And after that, slowly we increased it and we brought it up to 7, and then it is maintained because of the fountains. Because the fountain is ultimately, it is a self-sustainable system. We can't be doing the biodosage or maybe the bioremediation daily, because it is definitely not cost effective. When you do it for a longer run or daily basis or monthly basis, definitely no.
Madam, sorry for the interruption. I think you can lessen the treatment in the ponds attached to the temples. You are more interested in the bio STP, and let us have some discussions more on that. You can continue, but we can make. Thank you.
I will make it shorter, sir. I will make it shorter. Thank you, sir. And this is another one is in Kapaleshwara temple, the similar kind of a scenario there. And this videos and all, maybe we will post it later because there is some video issues. And the water hyacinth, normally in the water bodies, you will have this water hyacinth outgrowth and lots of pollution there. And this is another case study in Madipakam Lake. It's about 50 to 60 acres in Chennai. And the same issues of fish death was there, and it covered in almost all the newspaper. And we came to know through the collector, and then we visited the site. And this was the assessment we did, the DO. And the inlet water was in sewage inlet. The advantage here in this project is, we never diverted any sewage line to any other pipelines. We treated the sewage inlet within a day itself by implementing our biopit technology. And then the second day, we let out the partially treated water into the lake. And this was the lake, right hand side, you can see the clarity of water. And the third day, it was published in all the newspaper. Again, fish breathe easy again at Madipakam Lake. So this was our, really satisfied project for us. 3 to 4 days, close to about 60 acres of lake, we were able to restore it. And water bodies remediation services, we take up entire assessment. And this is another case study of Tiruvannamalai Lake. And the overall advantage of bioremediation is improves water clarity, improves the dissolved oxygen levels, reduces the sludge, improves ecosystem, safe environment friendly technology. And normally we use this kind of machines, amphibian machines, wherever you have more sludge along with these plantations outgrown in the water bodies, because normal JCBs cannot work in this. So we use this kind of a bigger machines to clean up the lakes. In summary, the sewage water is very simple to manage, recycle, and save water and cost. And where we can support you is, one is the consultancy services we can take for entire water management at an economical cost and to meet the pollution control board norms with the current system. If you have a current STP which is not meeting the parameters, definitely we can help you out to meet the parameters by giving the consultancy service, and also if you want we can execute the work as well. And upgrade the existing septic tank into bioseptic tank wherever you have conventional system septic tanks we can, and install new bioseptic tank system for the new apartments and new buildings. And grey water recycling, if somebody specifically wants only grey watering, we can. And install new bio STP or upgrade existing STP into bio STPs. And water treatment plants like RO, softener, ion remover, etc. Any issues if you are facing, definitely we can take up a consultancy services and we can do it. Or if you want us to execute the project, we can very well give you the proposal for that as well. And scientific restoration of water bodies, temple ponds in your vicinity to recharge your bore wells is our first and foremost priority. And we would request you to support us on this venture. At the same time, we have lots of NGOs working in Tamil Nadu and two states. And wherever you think that you wanted to really do something to the society and something you want to extend your support, we are there to support you as NGOs and as volunteers to do a hand holding. Thank you so much. I'm through with my presentation and I'm open for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dakshayani. That was really wonderful. Sewage treatment, yes, sewage is a very, very, very big problem in India today. And just 1 second, please. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, we certainly need a lot of technology, a lot of solutions to address this problem. And I'm glad there seems to be something very simple, sustainable solution which you are providing. But as a resident of an apartment complex, as an NC member, I can tell you, putting the onus of such a complex thing as a sewage treatment facility onto residents, lay person, is a big challenge. Yes, so I'm sure there are a lot of queries on that part. So let's start taking queries now.
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's start with the first.
Sandhya, Aditya here. Can I go first?
Just one by one, please. We'll go on the queries on the chat first, and then you can. Yeah.
You can put it.
Yeah, please put it on the chat so that.
So Sandhya, can I ask a question? Aditya here.
Yeah, Aditya, can you post it on the chat, please?
I've already posted 3 questions.
Sure. I'll just come to it. Yeah, on the query on whether this presentation will be available. Yes, it will be available on BAF. I have shared the link for it. I'm recording this session, which will be uploaded tomorrow onto the album. Yeah. Okay. So, first query by Aditya. Muralidhar Rao. What about sludge? How do you dispose it?
Hello.
Yeah. The first query is, what about sludge? How do you dispose it?
My voice is audible, Sandhya?
Yeah, it is.
It is audible. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just answer it because I think this system got hanged up. Right. The sludge is actually in the anaerobic system. It is only 20 to 30% is produced as compared to the normal aerobic system. Okay. So this 30% of the sludge is also further biodegraded because we are giving the hydraulic retention time of close to about 48 hours as against of normal aeration system of 12 to 15 hours. So in that case, the sludge disposal is almost zero. We are only talking about on yearly once maintenance. By then, entire sludge is getting degraded. Only if there is 1%, 2% sludge is left over, yearly once we request people to do a maintenance of just remove that sludge and use it for gardening, and that's all. And there won't be sludge at all. And if you really want to know about the answers, you can very well get into Google and search anaerobic sewage treatment or anaerobic system sludge production, then you will have an exact answer. So sludge is almost zero when it comes to our process. So that is the biggest headache you are getting rid of from normal STPs, because you don't have to keep maintaining your sludge. And there is one more question. Yeah. Can I take up the questions basis on the chat here?
Yeah, sure.
I'll start from beginning. Waiting to do trial. And okay. Mic. Okay. Waiting for trial. Okay, is it audible? Right.
Yeah, you'll have to come down a bit.
I'm just going to come down, going to now. Okay, we shall start. Okay. Methods of reusing surplus STP treated water. That is what I mentioned in the presentation on reusing this water for toilet flushing and gardening. Even then, if you have a excess water, if you convert into bio, then very well we can go in for a groundwater recharging. That can be done. Soil recharge system can be done. And what we do is we do a hydrogeological survey basis on the infiltration rate of the soil in every area. That has to be done. And basis on that, we will know the zones on the soil, which soil type and at what depth we can able to do an effective, the recharging of the thing. And also we do an infiltration test to see per hour how much water is getting infiltered, filtered inside the soil. Basis on that method, very well we can implement. My only worry is, once this has been done, and I'm sorry, somebody is asking.
I think it's okay. Carry on.
Can I go ahead, Sandhya?
Yes, please.
Okay. So very well can be done. Hydrogeological is manual. Yeah. See, we need to first do a hydrogeological survey in your area, in your apartment area, wherever, and then identify the zone for infiltration of the treated water into the soil, and the treatment quality, as I mentioned in my presentation. As mentioned in my presentation, the treated water must meet the parameter. It should be below 10 when we talk about on nitrate and phosphorus. If that is being done, then groundwater pollution will never happen, and 100% we can do. And the beauty in bio sewage treatment plant is, the entire nitrate and the phosphorus, it gets oxidized. That is the biggest benefit of anaerobic treatment process when we compare with the aeration. See, in aeration, you need to give an excess aeration. I told you the extended aeration to reduce this further. But when it comes to aerobic, automatically it gets oxidized. So in that case, the pollution is absolutely nil when it comes to groundwater. Very well, we can recharge it. I hope I answered the question.
Sorry, madam, can I ask a question regarding this hydrogeological survey? How much does it cost? Is it based on number of dig outs we do? How much should we budget for a hydrogeological survey, please?
Sir, normally this hydrogeological survey, it is per whatever we do the assessment depending upon the area. In case if the area is larger, then we will go in only for a smaller sum of amount, about 25,000-30,000 rupees. And in case if it is very small, it is only about 7,000, 10,000 rupees. Again, it
what about
depends
13, of the area. 13 acres, madam? 13 acres.
13, you can 13, we are not required to do the entire 13 acres. We have to do it only part of it. And initially what we do is, we wanted a report of the builder. Before construction, they must have done the soil testing report. And if you can able to share that soil test report, I think there is some disturbances, that voice disturbances.
Yeah, I have muted. Please go ahead.
Okay, now it's clear. And yeah, okay. So when we, if you can able to give us the, the builder's report on soil test report, basis on that, to some extent, we will be able to assess the area where we need to really focus and do a hydrogeological. for this purpose of recharging the treated water back to the soil. And basis on that, we can give you the quote. But roughly, I don't think it will cost you more than 50,000-60,000 rupees, even if it is a bigger project. The smaller one cost you very less, but a smaller one will not have that kind of a water to recharge at all, most of the time. And the next question, I think.
Madam, I'll
answered your
contact
query,
you
sir?
separately. Madam, I'll contact you separately. I have a pending problem. I'll figure out a way to figure this out. Are you based in Bangalore, madam?
I'm based in Chennai, but I'm also from Bangalore. I do have an office in
Okay.
Bangalore. You can
Okay.
contact us anytime, sir. Not a
Yeah, and
problem.
do you get involved in the Parvati Coil lake?
Correct?
You can give us a Bangalore contact. That is good, madam.
Sir, I'm available in this number anytime. You can contact me, sir, because I keep traveling to Bangalore almost weekly, once or twice. But now, due to COVID-19, I have not visited Bangalore for almost the last 5 months. But otherwise, alternative days, I'll be there in Bangalore. That's not a problem, sir.
Okay, your number is there in this presentation.
Yes,
Okay,
it is
go
there in the
ahead.
last presentation, sir.
We can take
And the next
question.
question is, the next question is, I'll just go ahead, sir. No issues, we can view your video. Okay, that's somebody else. 100 ml. Okay, let me just go through that.
Madam, one slight introduction about the madam. She is basically from Bangalore. She can talk beautiful Kannada.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದವರೇ, ನೀವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
You can take the next question, madam.
I think
I'm just going through it, sir.
yeah, the next one
Please.
is how do you
One query will share. 1 second, I'm just finish off this chat first.
Yeah.
There is somebody has asked, will share this presentation to us so that we can. We do not have to take notes and focus completely. Okay, sure, definitely we can share the presentation, sir. That's not a problem. We'll share it to the association. Maybe they further, share it to you.
it
How
will
much
be
water is
uploaded
needed
on
per
our
person per day?
Sorry.
Yes, I will give you.
Yeah.
Okay. And somebody is asking how much water is needed per person per day. Normally, it's about, as per guideline, they are saying 135 liters to 150 liters per person per day, inclusive of everything. So 150 liters normally we calculate when we talk about on the capacity of the sewage treatment plants, or even any water treatment plant for that matter. And this session will be uploaded. Yes, we will upload in our link. Can you please maximize your, okay, you can do it yourself. Okay, do you have a model of this solution? So if you want a model for BioSTP, we have 2-3 projects executed in Bangalore. One is in Diksha school, and another one is in Shantiniketan school, and the third one is Shri Shaila infrastructure. That's just an apartment project. Just about before COVID, we just executed the project. Still, it is not commissioned because of this COVID. So now already we are there on the job in Bangalore. But in Tamil Nadu, we have done close to about 600 projects. So I shown you already in the presentations where all we did the projects. And even if you want to visit any of our project sites, we can give you the references. That's not a problem. And Mr. Sanjay Gupta, Indore co-founder, Alliance for Rivers in India. Okay. I think he has not asked any questions. He just put his contact. 10,000 youth per district, 0 unproperly treated wastewater discharge. Okay. Career opportunities for average 10,000 youth per district, 0 unproperly treated wastewater discharge. What's concept throughout district? Sure, definitely we will catch up with you, sir. We will be able to support you and mutually we can work together. And what about the sludge? That sludge process already I explained you in the STP. There is no sludge at all. And there is no sludge removal, sludge drying, sludge disposal, not required at all. Only yearly once maintenance we talk about. That maintenance is also not even 1%, 2% sludge. At the same time, we normally put the medias into the tanks, and those media has to be washed it yearly once and put it back to the system. And the life of the media in BioSTP is about close to 20 years. So in that case, the media change is also not required for you. And how do you utilize the organic waste? So there is no organic waste, so no point in utilizing it. And for a 50 KLD STP, what will be the bio tablet cost per month? And what about smell and odor emanating from the BioSTP? BioSTP, 0 odor, 0 smell. So you don't have to worry. That is why I told you it is a ozonation, which we do a final tertiary treatment. because everybody knows technically who are qualified are people who are there in this webinar, technically who are well versed. Everybody knows anaerobic sewage treatment plant, the disadvantage is only the order, and otherwise the entire system works beautifully. The reason is because of the gases which is getting accumulated in the process of the treatment, but partially it will get oxidized and partially it will be there. That is where we use the sand and carbon filter as a final TSS removal, and TSS removal in the sense normal language, it is just whatever the leftover is there in the water also will be completely removed by sand and carbon filter. And then the final tertiary we do with the ozonation just to remove the odor alone, only for odor removal process. That is where the ozone cost is very, very less as compared to the normal system. And even the running of the ozone is also not required 20 hours or 24 hours. We are only recommending 5 to 6 hours running, and that too, it is sensor based. You don't have to even switch on and switch off the system. Automatically, whatever the timer we are going to fix it there, that time it will switch on and then it will get switched off. All that is required is once the water is collected in the final tank, you just have to pump out the water for whatever purpose you planned for. And how much we can, I mean, the 50 KLD plant, was talking about the bio tablet cost per month, maximum 10,000 rupees a month. Apart from that, there won't be any cost. So 50 KL per month maintenance is 10,000 rupees. Even if you talk about our ozonation usage, generally about 3 units a day is the expenses on the EB bill. Calculate 3 into 50 days or maybe 30 days. So roughly about 600 to 700 rupees will be the cost of the EB. So EB with the bio tablet cost roughly about 11,000 rupees is the cost per month for maintenance. Generally, this 50 KL plant O&M cost about 60 to 70,000 rupees. So when I am saying 10,000 to 11,000 rupees, you know how much saving is there when you convert that into bio. And how much we can reuse from bio STP. Reuse is your option. You wanted to use it for toilet flushing, you can, because it is fit for that and we meet the parameter. Garden, car wash, floor wash, cleaning purposes, for secondary purposes, definitely you can reuse. And also I told you in this bio STP, the nitrate is definitely oxidized. In that case, it is very well rechargeable to the ground and increases your groundwater. All that is required is, recharge cannot be done in every place. It all depends on your soil structure. And also what is there below the ground, we need to do an analysis. That is where we pitched in on the hydrogeological. By doing that hydrogeological, we will know this treated water, how much we can able to recharge into the ground. And there are a lot of new technologies, underground aquifers design is there, but all that is required is, for smaller apartments now, you can't afford the cost. Only when it comes to industries or the government bodies, it is worth going for that kind of applications. But when it comes to normal, smaller, STPs of 100, 200, 500 KLD kind of a thing, you can very well go with the hydrogeological. And initially, to start with, you please share your existing reports, whatever you have, the soil structures and other data collected from the builders. And then basis on that, to some extent, we will be able to assess. And further, we will suggest you if required. In case if we know that soil belt is really good and rechargeable, and obviously, because we do even the Google Earth also, we do analysis by using the Google Earth. When it comes to Tamil Nadu, we have access to this groundwater authority data, where we will know roughly about 70 to 80% of these areas, the status of the, the soil type and also the rechargeable capacity. And that we keep it as a prime data. And then we take up a secondary data. Only if required, if we feel we are able to give the result only, we will give you the proposal for hydro. Otherwise, we will tell them no point in spending money, and straight away we will ask you to go for a secondary options. Right. And when we are talking about on rechargeable, I told you, then a lot of apartments have STPs in the basements and have no space at the ground level. Will this system work? The system will work. This is where, I was talking, when we did the project for Sri Shaila Infra about 5-6 months back before COVID, they shown our proposal, everything to pollution control board, because they wanted to have a consent letter from them. And then they shown to them, and then they said that, no, you are not supposed to install this below the ground. Then immediately he called, ma'am, they are saying bio STP is not allowed. I said, you put me on to him. Or who said the reason that it is not below the ground should not be installed? Then he is saying like that, ma'am. I said, there is a regulation copy with me. The below the ground is not allowed by the pollution control board. They are only saying for the basement, applicable to the basements, not for below the ground. I'm talking about on the surface level, constructing the tanks below the ground. You got the difference? The basement in the sense -1, -2, -3 floors, what you are constructing, only for that, that law is applicable, not for the, constructing the normal STP tanks, in the ground level. So when I told him,
thank you, madam, for clarifying. So your in effect, your bio STP system cannot be installed in basement 1, basement 2, anywhere in the basement. Huh.
No. It can be installed very well. It can be existing. If you have anything in basement also, we can convert into bio. Very well, it will work. But only thing is, when you want to reuse the water, you have to pump it to the above ground level. When you want to reuse for gardening, reuse for toilet flushing, or even for recharging into the ground, cannot be done. Because you are already in -1, -2 in the basement, gravity fed the recharging system cannot be done from that level. So what you have to do at that time, you have to collect the treated water.
The question
Pardon,
was,
sir?
A lot of apartments have sewage treatment plants in -1, -2. Okay. And they don't have space in the compound to install a bio STP. So can your bio STP work in the basement?
Sir, we don't install any new STP in this kind of an existing system itself. We can convert. We don't require any new structure at all. All that is required is you have to give me your flow chart with the tank sizes. The same STP can be converted with the same infrastructure very easily within a day or maximum in 2 days. Only thing is, when we are talking about on recharging of the water only, you will have a challenge. Otherwise, if you want only treated water to be taken out, very well we can convert it within 2 days. Only thing is you have to give me flow chart with the tank details, because I told you the retention time when it comes to bio STP is 48 hours. When you're talking about normal STPs, 12 to 15 hours. So this is the difference. But there are STP service providers.
Correct, madam. Now, when you look at an apartment, I'm talking from a very practically ground level up perspective. If you try to convert a normal STP, say an MBBR or an SBR or an extended aeration STP, okay, using the same tanks into a bio STP, okay, say in a basement 2 of an apartment complexes, because most of the big apartments in Bangalore, okay, have 100 or 200 or 500 flats have the STPs in the basement 2, right?
Correct.
Okay, now those STPs are not designed to be a gravity flow STP. So by nature, by design, from one tank to the other tank, this raw water or the aerated water or whatever is pumped from one tank to the other tank. Correct, no, ma'am?
Correct.
So now you can very well convert it into a bio STP by taking out all the aerators, all the blowers, all the plumbing and converting it. But then how will the sewage water flow from one tank to the other? You still have to have pumps, right?
No, not required. See, that is where we are asking you for the flow chart and also the tank dimensions. The reason is, once we receive this from your end, we will know the space availability and basis on the design. Apart from that, we will also make a site visit. That is mandatory when it comes to basement, of course, because there the plumbing, if we need to change, we need to identify the different ways how we can connect these tanks interconnected by gravity. So for that, definitely we need to visit the site and make a assessment on how we can do the plumbing design for this. But otherwise, if it is normal thing, it is very easy to connect it, because when you construct the tank.
No. Okay, I understood, madam. And in the interest of time, a follow-up to this. Okay. Your retention time is 48 hours. Okay. Now, everyone who has an STP understands that one thing that you cannot control is the flow rate of raw sewage. Okay. In the old days, all of us used to wake up early in the morning, take our bath and do our daily routine between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. So if you look at a generation older than yourself or me, they will say 60% of the flow rate of your inflow to your STP will be between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. maximum. But today the lives of people have changed. People are working 24/7. Okay, I may be doing my morning routine at 6 a.m. Somebody else must be doing at 3 p.m. So flow rate you cannot control. Now your retention time is 48 hours. In a conventional STP, say an MBBR or an SBR or whatever, I can, one can segregate the operation of the STP
Others,
into
please
4 hours.
mute. Others, please mute. Only speaker and the person who's asking question can unmute. Others, please mute. Yeah, go on, Ramkrishna.
Aditya, sir. So
Aditya.
madam, yeah. So, madam, when you are not able to, none of the resident, none of the managing committee member can control the flow rate of the raw sewage, because you don't know which resident is using what toilet or what kitchen at what point in time in 24 hours, right? Now you are saying your
I'm sorry to
retention
interrupt
rate.
here. I'm sorry to interrupt here. I got your point. You are only saying the flow rate is almost 24 hours. 48 hours is the retention we are talking. How we are able to manage? That is your question.
One second. Now, in a conventional STP, you can do batch processing, right?
Yeah.
You can do batch processing and you can adjust your process and tune your process according to your flow rate. But now with a 48-hour retention time, obviously an existing STP will be very, very challenging to convert, because the limitation is in terms of tank size. 48 hours, if you are going to retain, say, in an aeration tank, and the aeration tank is a 50 KLD and your flow rate is 50 KLD per day, what happens to 48 hours worth of sewage? Where do you hold it?
Okay. So your question is over, sir?
Yes, madam.
Okay. See, when you are talking about on generations, my generation or your generation or whatever the thing, the lifestyle is a lifestyle only. Okay, maybe the slight difference will be there. When we calculate on sewage, we are not talking about on only the peak load, and we are not talking about on the less loading capacities. We are talking as a whole when we design the sewage treatment plant. When we design 48 hours, I'm not saying only in the aeration tank 48 hours. I'm talking about 48 hours from the collection tank till the last final treated water tank. Okay, when you do a designing for an aeration tank only in the pump system, what we are on the aerator we are going to use, there we talk about on the aeration capacity and also the retention time, because we need to maintain the MLSS growth. But when we are talking about from the collection tank, the moment the water flows into the system, in the first tank itself, the process it triggers. Until the final tank, it process happens. The 48 hours retention from 1 to 100 I'm talking about. So in that case, it is a continuous flow. And when you talk about an SBR system, batch process system, you know very well, you must have experienced it in case if you have already handled it. In SBR system, what happens, even if the time is not maintained properly, the entire system goes for a task. You know very well, the clarity of water you will never be able to get in the SBR system if you are not maintained the things properly. Or maybe if sensor fails, the entire system gone for a task. But when it comes to a gravity-based system, why we have to bother all this? Water comes into the first item and first tank, and then it flows on its own by gravity. No external force is required to flow the water. Then it gets into the final tank in the process. Our advantage in the technology is we are giving you the imported media, which has got a higher level of surface area. You know very well, when we talk about on the surface area, it is the microorganism which sits in the surface area and then multiplies it and then degrades the water. When I am giving you the surface area of 20,000 per media, I am talking about, imagine the kind of treatment quality. So in my aeration tank or even first collection tank or clarified water, everywhere we will have a media. In every process, when it is passing through that, it passes through this media and then cleanses the water. So in that case, that is definitely not a problem. The challenge what I face in your basement structures is only the plumbing design, how I'm able to connect it to these tanks. Because, you know, when it comes to STPs, we don't want anybody to get into the tanks. You know, the people, if they get inside, they will never be able to come out again. They will die there. So we will never take a chance of sending any humans inside the tanks to do any plumbing work. We wanted to do it outside the structure of the tanks. When it comes to normal STPs, it is easy to do. But in the basement, we need to identify where I can reconnect or interconnect these tanks. That is the only challenge I have. Otherwise, when it comes to gravity based or loading or anything, definitely not a big challenge at all. And we are talking about peak hours. Only in the COVID time, people are at home, and every 24 hours, people are using the water. Generally, if it is normal lifestyle, the peak hours you take, you can put a flow meter in your inlet pipes and then see for yourself. The peak hours is what time you mentioned, between 5:30, 6 o'clock, maximum about 9:30 to 10 o'clock. After 10, definitely the flow rate will come down. We have done it many projects, and in most of the projects we put a flow meter. The reason is because we want to answer this kind of queries, and the flow meter in the morning hours will be higher, and during the daytime it will be lesser. Afternoons definitely it is very, very less. Again, it picks up from 4:30 after the children come back home, and 4:30 you can go up to 9:30, 10 o'clock, you will have a higher flow. The highest load is only in the morning hours and late in the evening hours. So that is there. But in my case, I am least bothered about the flow rate. The reason is because I am not giving you any machineries or anything to pump out the water from one tank to another tank and maintain your flow rate and all this. I know the capacity is, let's say, about 100 KL or 500 KL or whatever. I need the tanks to be take care. And the tanks I'm talking about, from the collection tank till the final tank. I'm not talking about each tank, what does it process happens. That is my lookout. I will do the process. And the media, what is required, that I'm going to implement the media. And I will calculate what is the surface area required. When you're talking about on the loading factor, what do you mean you just think as a common man and think what is loading. Loading is nothing but the water which is consist of the waste. And what is that waste? How it is been degraded? It is degraded by the bacteria. With the bacteria, if you are having enough bacteria, which is equally ratio wise, if you are able to maintain it, technically we maintain it in the surface area, then what is the point in thinking about all this? Not at all required. All that is required is you give enough time for the bacteria to eat up on its own, rather than externally pushing the oxygen to make the bacteria to multiply and then degrade it. I am saying, why you are pushing the bacteria to grow? It is already there in the surface area. We have already developed it, and we are giving you monthly dosage also, the booster dosage. That is what we say, 1 hour a month you have to spend for STP maintenance is only to give a biotablet dosage, which is highly concentrated enzymes and microbes, which will be given there to take care of the MLSS growth. Where does it happen? It will never happen only in one tank. It will happen in all the tanks, except the final ozonation tank. All the tanks you will have the medias, and then you will have a process happening. So if that is the case, you don't have to worry about the loading factor at all. And nowhere we are using the machineries. 100% I'm clear on that. Everything should be gravity only. The only challenge, when we faced in certain cases where, their inlet level is below 5 feet or below 7 feet. When we talk about huge apartments, the collection tank, the inlet will be so deeper. In that case, in basement, you will never have that problem, because all your inlets will be in a very well designed, and you will have a gravity flow very easily at a higher level itself in the basement STPs. Very easy to manage. You will have higher capacity of the tanks. But when it comes to certain apartments, your ground, that inlet level will be 5 to 7 feet. That is where we use one pump, 1 HP pump, or depending on the capacity. But currently we used only 1 HP maximum with the sensor utilization tank. That only, that is, there is no other go, because we have not given their plumbing design, because they are also. Yeah, I think I answered your query, sir.
Okay, now we will, if there is a specific question, it can be taken one-to-one. But generally, what they are asking is, if you want to convert 100 KLD from the existing one to the bio, what would be the cost? Number one question. Number two, what is the contents of the bio tablets that you give, for the purpose? How would that? What would be that cost? These are the two important questions. The third one that they have asked is, in addition to the waste of the humans, there is a detergent input also into the water. How do you correct it? Kindly answer this.
Okay, so the number one is 100 KL. What is the cost if you want to convert it to bio? Roughly about 6.5 to 7 lakhs is the cost for converting into bio. And and when we talk about on bio tablets content, it is the enzymes and microbes and the content of it is different strains of bacteria with different types of enzymes. And the content will not be disclosed, of course, by the supplier also, the manufacturer, because they will only give us the result, that's all. And even we are also not very much keen on that, because we are using this for past 10 years with a grand success. And we only know the material which is definitely giving us a result. So the different strains of bacteria, they will not give, because it is definitely a formula for them for a manufacturing facility. And because, you know, the moment we talk about bacteria, bacteria is there even in our sewage also. Whatever, our human waste itself has got, large population of bacteria, which actually further degrades it if you allow it to degrade it properly with a proper retention time. But why we are not able to do it is only because of these detergents, what you mentioned just now. Harpic, Lysol, detergents, and all kinds of things, those things actually, when we talk about on this hazardous material, it gets into the dilution mode. Similar, like a normal STP also works on the same principle. So when it is example, just a simple thing, I'm saying 100 house, or maybe even take one house for simple understanding. One household, 5 people are using the toilet of about 150 liters or 200 liters maximum per day. Okay, your grey water, other than the toilet water, is about 500 liter. Roughly about 700 liter is per day usage per household. We calculate the capacity. And 200 liter, when it is mixing with the 500 liters of the grey water, so what will happen? It is a dilution. So when there is a dilution, obviously it is much easier to treat. It is not concentrated. That is where when we do only biodigesters, that means toilet water alone, the dosage will be a little bit higher. But when it is a domestic wastewater, all water put together, the dosage will be lesser, because it requires a lesser bacteria to treat. So that is the calculation, sir. I hope
So,
I answered.
Madam, this bio tablet, is it kind of patented? And will it vary from apartment to apartment depending on the usage particulars?
No, sir, it is not patented. Actually, we import from other countries. It is not patented even by me also, and I don't want to do it, because I told you, we are NGOs working on the cause. We are not people who are sitting 100% for making money here. 100% no, that is not our motto at all. In that case, we want this to be used by as many people as possible, and to make them understand how easy or simple it is to treat the water. And when we are talking about on bio tablet, we are saying it is quality wise, it is best quality, which we have trialed it out for 10 years, and we don't want to change the material. And in fact, we tried the local cultures also, and the result is definitely there even in the local culture. But only thing is the cost is higher, because if I use 50 grams of bio tablet, which is equivalent to 1 kg of the powder form which is available in the market, meaning it is not that you have to depend on me only for bio tablet supply. Even if you want to buy the material locally, the powder form or liquid form, you can very well buy it and then you can use it. But only thing is the dosage will be higher, means your cost will be higher for acquiring that material than what you are going to get from me. That is the only difference, and the quick result you will get. So the quality of the bacteria or the product, what is there, it is much higher. That is the only reason. And you don't have to depend on me 100%, even once it has been converted, thinking that in case if she is not there around, then what do we do? So you don't have to worry. You can use your local culture itself. Only thing is maybe slightly the cost may be difference.
In fact, there is a question on the same subject. Bio tablets or the product of local manufacturing, can we not do it here? That's the question.
Sir, we can use it, I'm saying, sir. You can use the biocultures, powder form or liquid form very well, wherever it is available. Not only from me, from any vendor for that matter. But each vendor has got different applications, different formula of doing it, right? So everything, it depends on the trial and error, and final result. If you get it, you can very well keep going using the same thing, but you will get the result. I'm not saying you will not get. But only thing is, I told you in terms of cost, let's say I'm 50 grams of bio tablet cost, whatever I'm giving you, the powder form, you have to get it at 1 kg. So the cost wise, you will see 30 to 40% hike in the cost itself when we acquire the powder. That is where even I am unable to introduce to this market now currently, wherever I am servicing for my 600 clients, the cost of acquiring the local, whatever the material, is higher than what I am importing it because of the quality difference. If the quality is able to get in India itself with that kind of a manufacturing facility here, we can, but that their company is saying we have to give in volume in tons. That will take its own sweet time. Till such time, we will be using it. Once we are able to get that kind of a formula, we can very well manufacture it here, and we are definitely interested to do that.
Hope you're not importing it from China, madam.
No, definitely not. China is my enemy only now. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ತರ ಒಂದು ವೈರಸ್ ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟವರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಾ ಸರ್? ಎರಡೂ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Definitely not.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Let's just take a 100 KLD plant.
Okay,
To
sir.
put up a new 100 KLD bio STP, what is the ground area you would require?
The ground area roughly about 30 feet length and 12 to 15 feet breadth. That is, you can say about 30 by 12, roughly.
30
feet
feet by
length.
12 feet.
That's all.
And it will be subterranean, right?
Subterranean in the sense below the ground.
Below ground level, right?
Correct.
So you said ground can still be used.
Very much, sir. Very
Hello?
much. Wherever we
Yeah.
installed, everywhere they are using that as a two-wheeler parking area.
Or one can even possibly have garden if you have a foot or two of soil space there. Okay. Now, how much will that plant cost to put up a new plant?
Roughly about 9 to 9.5 lakhs, sir.
Okay. Now, a 100 KLD plant, we understand that you are going to the retention time is 48 hours, which means definitely more than twice the retention time that an EAAS plant would require. A simple formula will tell us that it needs about double the tank sizes, rather total volume. Total tank volume would be about double that of the aeration tank. So what is the
Not
total
the aeration
tank
tank,
volume?
the whole tank itself. No, total tank volume itself, I'm talking about 48 hours.
Okay, very good. So you would need, what is the total volume of all tanks put together in this system for a 100 KLD plant?
Roughly about 1.75 to 200, sir, KL.
200 KL is the total requirement. Okay.
Including your treated water collection tank. Including your final treated water tank.
Okay, very good. Somewhere I remember you mentioned or something that there will be 10 tanks. So all the 10 tanks put together will be twice the size, twice the KLD rating, correct?
But 10 is, I mentioned where, sir? Maybe in the present, maybe in the metro rail. But there the process was a bit different. And since
I remember somewhere one of your presentations I saw.
Oh, okay. It was actually prefabricated tanks which we provided. That is mainly we did it because for the transportation purpose. Because you know when it comes to concrete tanks, obviously you will have you know the loading factor. That is why you know we wanted to just split into a smaller tanks and then install that tanks. But in case if your own construction, since we are going to give you design, you don't have to go for 10 compartments and all. Not required. We will give you the design, sir. We will give you the design for construction. You can do yourself, and then as per that, whatever the design you do, we just execute the work within a day or two maximum. Because there it is only a plumbing what we are going to do, and the media and sand and carbon filter with ozonation. And all this can be done within a day's time. And same thing we did in Shantiniketan, maybe we can take a feedback from them as well. We stayed just for a day. One night our laborers, they stayed. Next day evening they finished and they left the place. And I was there only for a first day just to do the basic technical thing. And second day they completed the work and then handed over the project, and just I visited and then left the site. So we will not take much time, not much of you know the work is there, because we don't install any electro components, no. So obviously not much of work will be there. You just give us one panel, that's all, to install only the ozonator.
Sandhya, are there any more questions? Sandhya?
Yeah, there are one or two questions.
No,
yes,
take it as last question because it's already 1:10 now.
Yeah, I think, do you have a mechanism for live water quality monitoring solutions?
Live Live in the sense you're talking about on day-to-day water sampling?
My question is, it is like in one of the time actually there were a lot of it is like a lot of kids went for sick in one day itself. It is like because of water quality issues we have faced in our apartment. So almost it is like 50 to 60% of the kids in the apartment got infected by that. And we thought of just doing a live water quality monitoring. So it is like maybe the dissolved oxygen level, something which you are talking about, or some other thing. If we can have a quality checks on that, is what we were thinking. Though we have
Sir,
our
I
own.
just wanted to ask you, I'm sorry to interrupt here. I just want to ask you why they went sick. What was the problem they suffered?
It is like we are getting a Kaveri waters, so it is like that we have a RO plant in our facility as such. So though it is treated, it is like some of the water which are used for our bathing and other kitchen purpose and all, right? Those we are not treating anything. So it is like just a normal basic cleaning which we are taking care in our water treatment plants. So where we are not able to get rid of those just like impurities or whatever the other virus or whatever bacteria they call this. Because of that, they got infected. And we have complained it to the government authorities.
Sorry to interrupt here.
Yeah, ma'am.
No, I wanted to just give you some clarity on this. Now you are talking about on water treatment plant. You are not talking about on sewage treatment plant. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am, you are right. Yes.
Am I right? So water treatment plant, you know very well, you are saying you are not using any RO, you are using a basic system. Maybe sand and carbon filters, you must be using it, right?
We have both. For drinking water, we use the RO water plant, and for normal utilities, we are using not RO plant, but just a water treated plant.
So in that case, no need to complain to municipalities or anybody for their quality of supply, because you know very well, when the municipal water supply happens, these pipelines are laid back years together. So the cleaning of pipelines will never happen, you know very well. So in that case, when the water passes through these pipelines, you will have, the smaller cyst and other bacteria or other contaminants to get into the water. That is why all of you are having a WTP in your premises. The water treatment plant, the purpose of having it is to do a treatment. So if the water treatment is not done, the problem is with the operator or the contractor, whoever has taken up. And that is the reason for falling sick. Municipal water supply, they say we have supplied the water, it is up to you to do. But if they are supplying the water at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 TDS, then you have a question to ask. If they are supplying below 500 ppm of water to your places, or maybe in our summertime 700 to 800 ppm they supply, TDS I'm talking about. Even then we can't ask questions, because all these pipelines, it is tend to get contaminated because of non-maintenance, and you can't maintain the public pipelines, the water supply pipelines for ages. And in that case, water treatment plants, if they have not done the job properly, then obviously you will fall sick. That is one point. And number two is, see, the water treatment treats even the contaminated water also. When we are talking about on, let's say, diarrhea or vomiting or any other skin related this one and all, then mainly because of the bacteria which is not being filtered properly in the sand filter or the carbon filter is the problem. That means you have not changed the media in the vessel. See, people, they think, please don't offended by this, discussion. It's openly I'm saying, because what happens in the apartments, they think that, we have done water treatment plant. That's it. Now every day we get the water, even for after 2 years, 3 years also, no need to change any medias in the vessel. That is the,
ma'am, sorry to interrupt
vessel. And
sorry to interrupt. Just one comment here. So it was not just happened with our apartment only. It was the whole of the area. It is like almost 15-20 apartments. When we inquired about it, there was a problem. Then only we complained to the authority. Yes,
Did you
yes,
check
we
the
went
water in the laboratory?
Yes, we found.
What was the?
Sorry. Yes, we did a report, and then only we complained to the. We found a lot of norms to be beyond. It is like the margin levels. I don't remember exactly those terms and quality measurements which we have done. So it is like, but when we did it, we found that there is a problem only during that week. So it is like then after the complaint, it got rectified, and we are not seeing it. But at the interest of
See, I will
the
tell you-
hygiene and the health, we are thinking, why don't we go for
I'll just, I got it. Why don't
Please.
you go for it?
live water quality monitoring? Something like that is what we are thinking.
No. Here I'll tell you one thing. This live water quality monitoring cannot be done when it comes to WTP, and that too when it comes to bacteria and all. You can't definitely do that, and it keeps changing. It is a dynamic status. What I am saying is, this water quality, this change happens is only because, again, I told you, coming back to the basic water bodies, the surface area, surface water is the main source of supply from the municipalities to your apartments. In that case, when they pump out the water from these water bodies, that water body must have been contaminated due to whatsoever the reason. And when they pump out the water with only chlorination, with the basic, if they are doing it, these contaminants cannot be degraded. That is why I told you in my water body restoration, whatever the water bodies we are polluting it, the water come back to us again. This is the scenario. It happened even in Tamil Nadu, in many places where we have visited. We tested the water. You can see the coliform there. That means the toilet water contamination in the water body, and from there they pump out the water, and that is why this kind of problems happens. But this treatment also can be done from your thing itself. But TDS and all, of course, only RO can take care. But other contaminants, your WTP can definitely very well handle it, sir. If you can get the test report, I can tell you where went wrong. Where went wrong, I can tell you accurately.
Better take this one-to-one, Mr. Anantam. I think we'll just close it. Is there any other questions, Sandhya?
I think most of the questions.
I have raised one question.
This appears to be very specific. You can take it one-to-one.
Yeah,
very specific one-to-one question, sir. Can Madam, this is Jambunathan, can Madam think of visiting Bangalore, say the next week or say 10 days, and stay here for a couple of days, so that she can give consultancy to us and as well as other apartments,
Jambunathan, I wanted to raise this point by slightly different in the sense, do you have an office or an assistant in Bangalore who can be of some help and who can get you over here for consultancy for a week, something like that? Is it possible?
Yes, it is possible, sir. If you can give me 14 days home quarantine in your home, I will come.
Madam, home quarantine, don't bother.
I'll tell you, 14 days, you can visit both apartments and have the quarantine there, and then also give the advice. Okay, right. No, do you have an office in Bangalore?
Definitely.
Do you have an office in Bangalore?
No, office. No, sir. Currently, we have purchased the property for that purpose only in Talagattapura, but still we have not yet opened it. And we are in the process of open one office also there along with the factory, because I told you we are also manufacturing the products, and so we are having a tie-up with another partner also there, where they will give us the manufacturing facility as well.
At least one of your representatives could be here. One of your representatives could be in Bangalore.
Yeah. Yes, we have already, sir. One Miss Priya is there. Priya, are you there? Are you there in the forum?
I don't think
Priya,
she's there.
Okay, you share that number. You share that number, madam. We will get in touch with
Priya
you.
is there.
Yes, I'm there. I'm there in Bangalore. I'm in Sarjapur, Bangalore. Actually, quite close to Atibile. And actually, I work more with water body restoration along with Madam Dakshayani, Madam. These are like lakes, ponds, and everything. But I have some idea about the work, so I can visit. But I would need somebody from Chennai actually to help me out with the technical details with all these projects, because these are all like site visits, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Madam, I'm just coming back to you on this quarantine business. For business visits up to 2 days, no quarantine is needed. Business visits up
we will not divert, sir. We will not divert the attention.
Okay.
Discussions on water. Anyway, can kindly manage to post another person in Bangalore along with Priya so that it is taken care of. Right, sir? Right, madam?
Yes.
Sure, sir. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, right. I
Thank
will
you.
sum up. Sandhya, shall we sum up?
Yes. Would you like to do it,
Right.
sir? Thank you.
I have something to say. It is really good. It is very enlightening to all the people that the problem of maintenance of STP has been a white elephant. We call two white elephants in an apartment. One is a swimming pool. Second is an STP. Now, any of these STPs can be routed through bio with less maintenance. Even if it is a question of initial cost, it is worth it. So kindly post somebody to Bangalore so that we can take it up with different apartments. Number two, of course, though it's not directly connected with the Priya would be interested, we have a lot of problem with Belandur Lake. Everybody has become an expert on Belandur Lake without solving the problem. That's what I want to say. Everybody has become an expert on Belandur Lake. No, not even one person has been able to solve the problem. The problem now is NGT is on our head, on the apartment's head, that we are the polluters. We have taken it separately. That is a different question. But we would like to have some consultancy one-to-one other than that, and a tie-up with the NGT wherever it is required. I think it was a wonderful session. I think many of the people have benefited. Why I wanted to close is 50 has become 25 now. There were 50 people, 25 people have dropped out. I think slowly they are dropping out. It is already time also. Thanks to Sandhya. Would like to sum up?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Dakshayani. I think we look forward to a better and longer engagement with you. So hopefully, once things die down, we should physically, meet, do some site visit, and see how we can take this forward.
Sure. Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you, Mr. Nagaraj Rao, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to present ourselves. And surely we are looking forward to work with you on a longer run for a sustainable green solutions and definitely to save our water bodies. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.
All.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Priya, you are going to be more important to us now than Madam Priya.
Okay, I will I will call you.
People will not like this is the hot spot actually. And STP is a hot spot. They will not leave you. They will start bothering you. Please get somebody else to help you out from Madam.
Okay, sir.
I think Priya will have a handful of work with Bengaluru Federation Association. We will definitely move forward. And ವಿನಾಯಕ ಚತುರ್ಥಿಗೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಈ ಪಾಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ವಿನಾಯಕ ಚತುರ್ಥಿಗೆ 4 ದಿವಸ ನಾನು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿತ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಭೇಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಖಂಡಿತ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ನೀವು ಬಿಸಿನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ 2-3 ದಿವಸ ಬಂದ್ರೆ no pass is required. You can come and go back. There's no problem. But if you are going to stay here for about 1 week, 10 days, then you need something little different. Okay, we'll think of it. We'll think of it. Fine.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you, Priya. Bye.
Thank you.